Hi everyone. In this session, I'm going to explore the AWS Cloud9 IDE. So, what is AWS Cloud9? It's basically an IDE, which means an integrated development environment. So when you are mostly you, if you are using, you have used under like Eclipse used to be one. Then there is Visuals VS Code, which is very popular. It's an IDE. IDE lets you write, run, and debug your code. And just in one interface altogether. So in we now if you want something like that, which comes like a pack, it comes pre-packaged with everything. For example, it has Python on it, it has Docker installed on it, it has AWS CLI installed on it. Then you don't need to just bring anything else, you don't need to install anything else, so you can just use the Cloud9. So I'm going to log into my account, and I'm going to over here try to create a Cloud9 environment. So what it is that you create a Cloud9 environment when you go into the console. And this environment will actually create an EC2 instance on the back. So this EC2 instance will be an Amazon-based AMI, which will have all the tools which are pre-installed on it. So then you just go over here and you can do a create environment. You can give any name like test, any description, it doesn't matter. Okay, so the important is this, the environment type. So now there are three environment type. So create a new EC2 instance for your environment, which is direct access. So basically, if you have enabled this, then you will be able to directly go through from your environment. You'll be able to SSH into it. But if you have something where you have no ingress EC2, which means you want to run your instance in the private subnet. So when you have a VPC, there is a private subnet in there and there's a public subnet. So if you have a public subnet, then you should go with this option. But if you don't, some organizations, they don't allow direct access to EC2 on any public subnet. So in that case, you need to have the instance running on the private subnet, but it will be via systems manager. And then your configuration has to have a route like an ingress, so that using NAT, you have to have that set up, because from public, the when the incoming connection will come through the public subnet, so there has to be a NAT gateway in there. And then finally you can pick any instance type, you can pick the platform. And now a lot of people also have a lot of tags. You can put a tag that can be used to search it, but for now I'm not going to put a tag. Now I'm going to just create the environment. That will take a couple of minutes, and then I'll get back when it's created. Okay, so if you see, this is my Cloud9 environment. It came up. It took a couple of minutes and it came up. So now if you see, they have a lot of stuff, right? Um, you can do, if you do Docker, yes, there's nothing running, I'm sure, right? But there is Docker already pre-installed in it. Similarly, you have AWS CLI, which is pre-installed in it. So you can just do, a lot of commands. And also you can do S3. And in the Docker, you can do ps-a. And then I think they have Python as well. Yes. Um, so you can write your own code over here, and then you can use Python to run it. And then if you can build a Docker image. So you should be able to do a Docker pull from a hub. Let's say if we pulled out Nginx latest. Yeah, see, it quickly pulls it, because this is directly connected to internet. It's pulling directly from the hub. And then you can just do a Docker run. minus p80, let's say minus d nginx. So it is running, right? So that's the whole idea, is that you, and then you can explore there are the other stuff. They have a lot of so when you create a file, let's say in your folder vi, let's say app.py, vi is already there. I will just say I can do Python. I'm not sure if it's going to run, but okay, where did it go? So it's there, and then so you can directly see it's come over here. So this gives you a environment where you can write code and you can run it, and then you can play around with basic stuff that it's otherwise you'll have to install everything on your own machine. So this gives you that environment. So it's pretty easy, straightforward. So if you want to explore, just go ahead. And there are also certain settings that need to be, so like for example, if you have your own, like if you're using Visual Studio Code or something, you can actually directly have it connected to AWS Cloud9, because it would, using this remote SSH feature of VS Code, it's an extension. So then you can actually continue to work in your ID, but you can use all the features of AWS Cloud9. So then you don't need any other environment. So that's it for now. So hope if you explore, hope it's easier for you versus compared to installing Docker and other tools, because now if you don't have to worry about all that licensing and all that stuff.